Hi everyone, and welcome to my channel called Zuzanareacts, where I learn all things India with your help, and I just share my Slovak Central European point of view. And in today's video, we're going to actually look at two videos because I was just very curious about Indian culture, and I've got some videos I really wanted to watch, so I hope you like that with me. It's kind of like perhaps I presume it is a take on Indian culture by the Westerners, and I find that these videos could be very interesting and maybe a lot to learn from. So the first video is going to be a video of the story of a lost wallet in India. But before we get into that,
please like this video and click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification. Thank you so much for your support.
Right, so let's hit this video. It's a short one, and after that I will just share another short one.
I was in India and I was teaching a course on leadership in India, and this is a slum, so as they call it, in India. I got back to the hotel. I realized I didn't have my wallet. The minute you think you know everything, at that moment you know nothing. And so I was in India and I was teaching a course on leadership in India, and I had gone to this university and I spoke there. And after I left, I got back to the hotel. I realized I didn't have my wallet. And so I called the hotel and I said, "Can you please bring the car back? They have my wallet." And they said, "I'm sorry, sir, we don't have a car. That was a taxi." And so they tried calling the taxi company. Nobody answered the phone. They tried again and nobody answered the phone. And I became a little cynical. I went from hopeful to skeptical to cynical, and I started thinking the worst of people. And of course, they said, "Well, my wallet is gone." By midnight, they called and said, "We're still trying." He's answering the phone, the taxi cab driver. But at 2 a.m, they called and said he answered his phone. His phone was off. "He's coming back to your hotel with your wallet."
Aww.
So I get dressed and I run downstairs, and a man meets me, and the bellman translates in for me, and I get my wallet, and everything is in my wallet. Everything. My passport, my money, my credit cards, is all there. And I reach into my wallet and there's $70 US. I asked the man through a translator, "What do you make a month?" He says, "About 2,500 rupees, which about, with that time, was about $70 US. So I reach out and I say, "Let me give this $70 to you. This is my way of saying thank you." And the man says, "No." I said, "No, I don't think you understand. I have 1 month's salary for you. I want to say thank you. Here's $70. And the man says to the translator, "No." And I said, "There must be a translation problem here. I'm talking about paying you. I'm talking about giving you a month's worth of your salary." One more time, he said, and this time he became a little visibly angry. He said, "I told you no. I didn't bring you your wallet because I wanted a reward. I brought you your wallet because it's your wallet."
Aww.
Now, this may not sound like an incredible story, but think what would have happened if I had lost my wallet in a taxi in New York City or a big city anywhere in the world. Think about what the chances of me getting my wallet back. Think about it and be honest with yourself now. This is a slum, so as they call it, in India. So I said to the man, "What can I do to be thankful to you? What can I do to say thank you?" He said, "Well, the next time you're in India, come to my house and have tea.
Oh, wow.
Be my friend."
Aww.
Whew. Sometimes when you give, you get. Sometimes whatever goes around comes around. I didn't give that man a thing. He gave me a sense of purpose. He let me understand that there's hope in people and that you can believe in the humanity and the decency of people. And sometimes people just do things because of the right thing to do.
Wow, that was beautiful. I feel like, whenever we debate in the comments the difference between West and your country, I think it just demonstrates it here really nicely. I think that the Hinduism, that's kind of at the core, is teaching to people to do the right thing, which is really nice. And I think many of you actually mentioned it in the comments below, because it's the right thing to do. It's really nice. I feel like lots of people in the West need to hear that message. And so what do you guys make out of the story? Like, is that something that would usually normally happen, or is this a one-off, or how do you relate to that story? I would love to know in the comments below. And in our next video, I will try to bring in a story from a lady who talks about her lessons from a trip to India. So let's watch this together.
It was May of 2006, and I was traveling 8,600 miles from my home in Phoenix, Arizona, to Bangalore, India. I grew up in Maine. Traveling to India was something I had never thought was going to be in my future. But I was heading there to onboard a team of employees. It was important to me not only to know their skills, what they wanted out of the job, but about them, them as people, their culture. So with that in mind, I decided to take a trip to what they call City Market. Now, City Market in Bangalore, India,
Wow.
can best be described as an assault on all of your senses. It's not a tourist destination. In fact, they kept looking at me incredulously when I said, I really want to go there. They're like, no, you don't. An assault on the senses. Sights I had never seen before, bright colored fruits and spices, lots of people. Smells, not all of them were great. There was a lot of livestock around. And did I mention it was May and really, really humid? So crowds of people, all these scents, all these smells, all of these noises that I had never experienced in my life. It was a little overwhelming, to be honest. I kind of stuck out like a sore thumb. So when I spied over in the corner of the market, this alcove, this concrete alcove that not only offered some shade, but it also offered a beautiful visual. See, it was in this basement-like structure that the ladies were sitting there, stringing flowers together, making leis for the temple. These colors in these flowers was absolutely amazing. And the smell of the jasmine in the air was incredible. And they sat there and they delicately strung these together. And as I was walking by and looking at them, one woman caught my eye. You see, she caught my eye because she was probably older than my grandmother. And I thought, oh my gosh, she's sitting on that hard concrete floor, little bent hands, stringing these flowers for rupees. She had no teeth. She had probably nothing. So I unzip my very fancy fanny pack, as American tourists do, and I pull out my rupees. She doesn't speak English. I don't speak Hindi. So the international sign for, hey, I want to buy your things, right? And she looks at me up and down, and she goes, devastated. I'm so embarrassed that I'm backing away from her into my guide. And I say, Danny, my guide, I did something to offend her. Can you please go make it right? So he walks over, he has a little conversation with her, and then he waves me over. And she gets up and she picks the most beautiful jasmine lei I've ever seen.
Wow.
And with her arthritic hands, she pins it in my hair.
Oh.
And again, unzip the fanny pack. And I said, I don't understand. Danny said, Belinda, you picked her. You honored her by wanting her flowers. Your debt is paid in full. That moment changed my life because I realized I had gotten it all wrong. I was a child of the 80s. I was climbing that corporate ladder. Next title, next promotion, corner office. I had it all wrong. I was defining my value by what I earned and not by who I was serving. When we put money before honor, we're only going to get so far. But when we truly serve from our hearts, the people who honor us with their time, their trust, their money, we will be abundantly rich. I have a journal from that time in India. When I open that journal, I see that lei preserved. Flowers are now brown and wilted, but they are my constant reminder of a woman who had nothing, yet was the wealthiest person I have ever met in my life. Made a lot of changes in my life after that. I left India a new woman, my heart full, my mind full, and actually my arms were full too. Because not only did I go home and quit my job, I went home with a dog I had adopted off the streets of Bangalore. And he was my reminder as well of what we can do in this world. So I would leave you with this: service over sales, honor over hustle, and most importantly, people over profits. Thank you.
Wow, this was also a very beautiful story, and you guys know why these stories are being told in the West, right? Because I think in the West we really need that inspiration. It's so, what I keep on reiterating, it's so money, and what she says, like corporate world, like making money and the ego thing, and it's always like it's almost shocking and refreshing for us to see that these kind of acts of kindness and service. And I think, like, even when I watched Carolina's video when she went around in Indian villages, like it's almost, you kind of don't trust. So it's I mean, if this is what India is really like, it's super impressive. Unfortunately, it's not quite like that in the West, but I guess we have a lot to learn from you. But I would just be curious, do you think that this is an example of, is this how people are actually genuine like? And I'm dying to know what these flowers are about. Like, why do you make them? Why do you bring them to the temples? I would love to understand the significance. So if you could let me know in the comments below, that would be super duper appreciated. And obviously any comments on any of those videos, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section below. And with that, I think this is it for today's video. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up, share, subscribe to this channel, like this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, please do take care. Sending much love. Bye-bye.